or not until we get to our debt, not until we get our debt to income in check, debt to GDP, but try to bring it in consumer terms. You back in?
I'm here. One of them days, my
Yeah,
friend.
man. I'll tell you what, he's doing it. Y'all can't see it on our audience. We can't see what he's been doing over there behind that camera, but boy, he's been working. I think we're all live and ready now, so that's good. About as live as we're gonna get. But yeah, man, this debt stuff, every time I'm reminded of it, I ask again, does anybody care? Really, how high of a priority is genuinely? I know a lot of people care. I know this audience cares for sure. And people that are...
I don't think it's real. I just... Seriously, Josh, think about it.
You don't think our national debt's real?
We give away money like it's going out of style.
Yeah,
we fund anything and everything. Oh, you want to put 2 bases for National Guard, Quick Reaction Force?
We'll talk about that.
Drop it. But I'm just saying, we throw money at everything. So the fact that we
Sesame Street in Turkey to talk about transgender stuff.
Yeah, but the fact that we're even talking about national debt, it's a joke because we spend like it doesn't matter. And does it really matter? Who do we owe the money to? When is it due? Like, what's going on here? What happens if we don't pay? Yeah, all the things.
Well, all good questions. All good questions. I've never explored the theory that it's not real. Mm-hmm. I do understand what President Trump was saying a few months ago, that the way that you're coding it, because there's a lot of internal debt, there's a lot of interdepartment debt. How does that happen? You're all part of this? That's like so bureaucratic. Like figure it out. That's like when elected officials say, "Well, the budget is complicated." No, it's not. It's one of the easiest things you can do. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Phone line's gonna be wide open. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the Bill and Bear Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Bill and Bear, your hometown lawyers. Give those guys a call. Our phone lines are open, 232-1542. I want to hear from you today. Bring the spice. Let's talk interesting stuff. All right, let's go straight to Renee. Renee, what you got today, my man? Bring the heat.
Well, I got that Chesty Puller. If you know who Chesty Puller is, he had something he said that wasn't necessarily racist at all. It wasn't politically correct about humanity. And the thing is, it's sort of related to what I'm gonna say. With hive mind mentality decisions, there is hive mind mentality consequences. There's also a division of labor. You know, in some countries like Japan, the men are too shy and the women want to have, you know, all kind of ambitious careers and stuff. The population has gone down, careers like that. Some of the countries in the West, the left have made a man not exactly a reliable man and then turn around, make the woman hostile and try to compete with the man. And where the population doesn't replenish itself and dwindles, countries disappear. And the consequences might be that, hey, everybody going to be speaking Mandarin and be a subservient community to a greater China.
All right. Well, he had. Well, Renee, you know, here's the thing, man. This is what I love about Renee. He ain't afraid to tell you how he feels. You know what I'm saying? Now, Renee, we talked about this last year. We're trying to get you hooked up. And the last few times you called, you keep pissing off women. I mean, you might as well say women just need to get back in the kitchen.
I think he said that before.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Get back.
What is happening?
Hey, Renee's an honest guy.
Oh, he's back.
All right, finish your thought, Renee. What you got? Finish your thought.
No, I was just listening on because I'm not in my car. Well, I can finish my thought. I'm trying not to have the guy, press on me and try not to be irate like the last time I was. But I mean, it's a truth there. If we don't have more people replenished to pay taxes and run the military, you know, we like Japan and Korea and some Western countries, you know, we ain't, you know. Who's out to grab the world and doing it anyhow they're sloppy? China.
All right. Well,
You remember when we were concerned about overpopulation and too many people, and now there's concern that we're not reproducing enough. But and I can see how that would happen, but we kind of self-corrected. We didn't have to reduce the population because, you know, the left did it for us.
Is it possible that could be an arrogant way to think? Like, is it the same people that push that Green New Deal stuff? Like the whole Earth population. Oh, we're too populated. Oh, we're not populated enough. Man, stop trying to play God. Like, y'all act like these guys act like that's not under control. I mean, like,
But unemployment's growing.
yeah. Like,
No, we got more jobs than we got people, folks.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Renee's right in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's
our
true.
military and stuff. He's right. We have fewer people that are going to, as we grow older, want to join the military. Like back in the day, it used to be a point of pride. You know, I joined. You joined because you're serving your country, man.
Yeah.
Now it's like, ugh, I gotta pay off my college. I gotta do
Call me
this.
back.
I really don't want to.
Call me back. I'm ready. I didn't resign my commission. Let's go. Let's go.
Don't call me. I'm good. COVID took my hips. I'm not gonna be much good to you. I mean, I can sit I can ride a desk.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of jobs, let's talk about a few. GE Appliances, CBS AP's reporting that they are moving production of refrigerators, gas ranges, water heaters, washers, and other models from
China.
Yeah, from China, Mexico, all to plants in Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Kentucky and Alabama's been busy.
You boys going to Mexico? No, we going to Kentucky. Montucky.
The company is launching a more than $3 billion investment to expand and modernize its U.S. operations. Over the next 5 years, this is going to add more than, let's see here, 1,000 jobs. More than 1,000 jobs. These add up. These add up. Just another win, because now it is more painful for GE to do business in China and Mexico than it is to do in Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, or South Carolina. They're a business. It's a business. They're gonna path of least resistance. That's what a business wants. Path of least resistance.
Well, this business, don't they still own NBC?
I don't know. Do they?
They want the path of least resistance. They maybe ought to cut that one loose. They used to own NBC.
I don't know. Reagan used to work for GE.
Yeah.
Well, he went around doing speeches and things like that. They hired him to be a spokesperson for GE. They didn't know he would go around the world or around the country changing philosophy on limited federal government and fighting communism.
They got smart. They offloaded NBC. I forgot they sold to Comcast and Universal.
Because they're smart, because they're a business. They're like,
I ain't playing with that.
Not my wheelhouse. GE, not my wheelhouse. NBC.
Rachel Maddow. Who's this little boy? Talking smack.
Oh, man. So gas ranges now made in Mexico, those are going to go to Georgia. 6 refrigerator models made in China, that's going to Alabama.
Wait, I thought Biden had outlawed the gas stoves and whatnot and how such.
Yep, well, apparently there's a new president in town.
Goofy, man.
It is. Look at this. Electric and hybrid heat pump water heaters currently made in China. They're going to South Carolina, doubling that plant's output and workforce. More American jobs. More to the American GDP. Great. In Tennessee, the company will add 2 new AC models. And in June, GE Appliances announced it would move clothes washer production from China to Louisville, to its Louisville complex in Kentucky. So that's going to produce more than 15 models. All of these that were being made in China, being made in other places. Here you go. Now being made in America. Now employing Americans.
But this is going to make it more expensive.
Yeah.
No, they were charging us high prices and paying slave labor wages and making all the money. It's just going to be a little tougher for them to make money. But then again, no, it
would be tougher for them to make money now in China than it would to be in America. Like,
it balances out.
It helps. It's not a balance. It helps us. It favors us. There is no balance. This balance is those scales are tipped in our favor, and they were tipped against us for all these years. Man, I'm telling you, this. How do you argue against it? How do you, and how can you? Like some of these guys that are they hate Trump more than they love our country. Can you at least admit that the jobs that are coming here is good? Don't even give Trump the credit. Can you just admit that the increase in jobs to Americans is a good thing? You don't have to say Republican. You don't have to say Trump. Orange man bad. You can stick to your script, but can you at least acknowledge that? Because if you can't even acknowledge that, what are we doing? I can't have a conversation with you. So the total plan, again, $6.5 billion. That's good. Across 11 U.S. plants. That's awesome. Very awesome. And this is what happens when we know how to use leverage. It's been a minute since we've seen that. It's been a couple years since we've used American leverage for American interests to put Americans first. You would think that would kind of like go with the job of president, but we've had several presidents in both parties that were okay with China having our jobs, was okay with Vietnam making our textiles, was okay with you name it. But enough is enough. I mean, again, go get that leverage for us. Make American jobs. But we used to pride ourselves. We used to be a country that built things. Then we voluntarily chose to say, you know what? Hey, I see what's changing in the world. We're going to go ahead and just let these guys go. Just go on. Just go on. We're going to be a service-related industry country, service industry. Great. Nothing wrong with that. You can walk and chew gum. I mean, we fought 2 theaters in World War II successfully, and both independently was enough. So we can do it. But someone made that decision to sell us out, and someone or some people continued those policies, and they had both R's and D's behind their name. All right, guys, stick around. We'll finish this topic and so much more right after the break. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the Beal and Abear Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Beal and Abear, your hometown attorneys. Give those guys a call if you got any questions on the law. They will take care of you. Good folks over there. We're also broadcasting live from Rumble, rumble.com, like Rumble in the Jungle. Go look up the Josh Guillory Show. You can give us a little view. We also got some chat features over there. Love to hear from you. Phone lines are open, 232-1542. Want you to bring the heat, bring the spice, get spicy. Outside of Acadiana, right there, 844-766-6607. And we see you. We appreciate you. All right. So going back to these tariffs. These are not like, like just data, just numbers on a spreadsheet. The good thing about these, good, bad, or ugly, is you do see the output. You see the consequences in like real time. You know, we're seeing corporate behavior change right now, right in front of our eyes. I mean, GE Appliances, let's just think about this. They're spending billions to bring jobs, factories, both upgrade and new, and production. Production. Back to American soil. We love that. And not a talking point. Real work, real steel, real paychecks, real communities, real paychecks in those communities. All of them, which, by the way, have been ignored for decades. We had the human resources, we had the natural resources, not necessarily in that case, but definitely the human resources. We just didn't have the policies to protect our workers. Our policies protected Chinese workers, which really protected the Chinese Communist Party. They don't have individual rights over there. Everything belongs to the CCP. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But we're seeing all this. Good, bad, or ugly, like I said. But GE Appliances, they're in it to make money. And it's a very, very, very simple equation. Do I make more money or less money in China or Mexico or wherever, in this case China?
China.
Or do I make more money in America? It is that easy. It is like GE Appliances didn't wake up one day and say and felt a little ethnocentrism. All of a sudden, I love America and I want to help only, and we're pro-America and we want American jobs. What are we doing here in China? Oh my goodness, I just woke up here, I promise. No, they saw that money.
You want to do business in China? Do it in China. Not gonna let you do it here. Are you gonna pay?
Oh, yes. And anybody doing business, well, at least with Russia, whew, that's a dirty, look, man, I don't know why, like India just set off a domino. In India, if you may recall, set a deal with America, with USA, with our president, and then just totally just flipped and started selling oil and gas to Russia again, and Trump just.
But hey, I just made tariffs great again. Your daddy Trump making tariffs great again. I know you were scared, but they're great.
You start talking about Daddy Trump, and you know who's going to show up.
No,
you know.
Today of all days, he best not.
I know, but you know. We already got that message from Martha Jean earlier.
Martha Jean, I was a little touched her. She asked me if I want to go play bingo.
Okay.
I love bingo. I mean, I absolutely would go play bingo. But
okay.
She's like, well, it's at 3:30. I'm like, Martha Jean.
Martha Jean.
Like, don't you listen to your headphones while you're playing bingo to our show? And she's like, well, but you could do it from the bingo. I'm like, no, Martha Jean.
Live from the bingo. So, but look, when you look at these businesses, just let's put ourselves in GE Appliances position. They chase the lowest possible labor cost. That's what they do. And it makes sense. And in this case, they chased it way over overseas, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, right there. Pacific Ocean, sorry.
Martha Jean. She said, well, I bought an appliance from GE for the bedroom. I'm like, Martha Jean. I don't think they make that. And even if they did, no one cares. For the bedroom. That's it. She said it's for her back. The doctor says she need a backiotomy.
But when we look at all this, when we look at all when we see these companies chasing the lower labor costs, when we see them sprinting to places like Japan and well, really China and Taiwan and India, and on and on. What's frustrating is Washington let it happen. That's the problem. That's the problem. Republicans and Democrats. And finally, we have a guy that says, we're doing something different.
Gonna flip the script.
And he did.
Turn the page.
I mean, we can disagree on the tactic. That's fair. This is a new tactic. Got it. And I'm the first to tell you I love it. And I'm the first to tell you that I don't know if it'll work. We don't know.
Seems
Time
to
will
be
tell.
working.
So far it does. And you want to keep doing things that are good, and you want to back off of things that are not good. And Trump understands that. That's why the flexibility. Now the left wants to paint him out. Oh, he's backing out or what. Okay.
When are they going to start taking the money out, though? Didn't they say like it was going to cost each of us like a certain amount? When are they going to take that money out? So I know to keep enough in the bank. So
to brace. We got to brace for it.
I guess.
I'm telling you, man, when we look back in history, when we look back maybe 20 years from now, and we see this long trend of 50 years, the first 20 years, maybe it's really the last 30 years that just, NAFTA started, 90, we're going to look back and we're going to say, man, presidents of both parties looked the other way while our industrial base hollowed out. That's just the facts.
Bobby that said he ought to just do the opposite. He should have come in office saying tariffs are terrible, never gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then Democrats be like, no, he needs to do tariffs, and then he does them, and they're like, oh, finally.
They're horrible though, not the way he's doing it. No, that's not how you do the tariffs.
They're so goofy.
All right, guys. Hey, look, we'll be right back. Hour number 2. We are gonna switch topics here, and National Guard seems to be busy, and let's talk about that when we get back. Stick around. afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. I remain your grateful host, and in studio with me still, my main man, Jamie Angel.
I am here. Sound effects button's not working.
Oh, man.
I know, so many people disappointed. It's Wednesday. How about that? Wake up, everybody.
Well,
I'm ready to go.
good afternoon. Okay. We are broadcasting live from the Beal and Abear studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Beal and Abear, your hometown lawyers. Give those guys a call if you got any questions regarding the law. They can help you out, point you in the right direction. We're also broadcasting live from Rumble. Go to rumble.com. Check us out. Search The Josh Guillory Show. You can see us. All right, let's switch gears
We
here.
forgot something important this week.
What's up?
To all the little children who's going back to school this
Oh,
week, might be
yeah.
listening in the car on the way home
Yes.
from the car rider line. Thank y'all for tuning in, and good luck at this school year.
And your parents are very, very wise to have this show on during car line or transportation or anytime, whatever.
Good part of your education.
You have great parents.
That's
Wonderful
right.
parents.
Hey, and y'all are learning some hard truths about the world.
Well, all right, let's go. So, hey, this story may have mixed opinions. Some folks may really like this decision. Some folks may not. Some folks may, I don't know. Let's talk about it. So Fox News is reporting, and everyone else, that the Pentagon is working on a domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force, so QRF, which would be about 600 National Guard troops split between Alabama and Arizona. So the plan calls for these units to be able to deploy anywhere in the country within an hour if civil unrest breaks. So they'd rotate every 90 days, travel on commercial flights to keep a low profile, and the earliest rollout actually could be tied to next year's budget. So it's coming. If it does, it would come soon, with costs reaching into the hundreds of millions because you're activating National Guard troops. Now, the force would operate under Title 32 authority. That's important. That means that the states technically control the Guard, but Washington can still mobilize them, and that's where governors and the federal government can clash, as you saw Governor Newsom and President Trump earlier. Now, a lot of supporters say that this boosts readiness and ensures a fast response if we face another wave of riots. You can't argue with that. That's reasonable assumption there, okay? But there's more to it. We are talking about the federal government having a federal presence with troops, okay, in 2 active bases purely for civil issues on domestic soil. So it says it's important. But that statement that it would boost readiness and ensure a fast response if we face some of these, Portland riots, BLM, and all that stuff. Agreed. That you can't deny with. But how we get there, sometimes, So critics, however, and I lean on this one. Slippery slope. That's my concern. And a lot of critics say that. Are we normalizing a military-style deployment on our soil, on American soil? And it kind of blurs the lines between not just state and federal authority, but who we are as a nation. And that's a serious deal. If that becomes the precedent, that's a serious deal. I'll get to that. I'll get to it. Good comments. Appreciate your Vortex. I'm coming to you. You can message us on chat GPT, on Rumble.
What? ChatGPT? I love that. I love that meat.
You did that impression earlier, and it got me thinking now. Stuck in my head. It's like branded in my head.
I'm living rent-free in your head, Guillory.
No,
Yeah, T-boy.
the quote is, all right, so here's the truth. I am all about law and order. So are you. And so are most Democrats. So are most people. And I want violent mobs stopped quickly. So do most people, I would imagine. But this particular plan, this specific plan, it's a big step toward a permanent federal tool for domestic deployment. And once Washington has it, once Washington tastes power, it is almost never taken away. Very important decision here we got. Very important decision as lawmakers. The lawmakers have. It's tied to a budget, so Congress has to vote on it. And the president might want to rethink this. Might want to think long-term slippery slope stuff. Because here's the deal. Trump's in office now. Great. And I do trust him more than I would any of the leaders that I've seen in the Democrat Party with that kind of power. Okay? But we have to think beyond one administration. We have to think beyond one person. Because this same force could one day be in the hands of someone who wants to use it for other reasons. Politics, maybe, not public safety. What would President Biden, like to my fellow conservatives, what would President Biden have done with this during COVID?
Well, you got to think when a nation, a country acts up and has some issues. Let's use Yemen or Syria, for example. We don't just, and I'm just using this as an example. We don't necessarily automatically deploy troops there. We usually start with some sanctions, some other means of punishment or making them feel the pain. Now, with the states, it seems like we're just jumping straight to the nuclear option. I mean, give the states, if they have unrest pop up, give them an opportunity like you did in Los Angeles to quell it themselves. Yeah. If they refuse, I say that you do what you've been doing. But as far as having a force ready to just deploy that doesn't sit well.
No, it's definitely not what you look. I just think it's a slippery slope. I don't think it's a good move, and I hope the president reconsiders this decision. I don't know if it's a decision yet. Are they just talking about it, or have they done it?
I mean, cut their federal funding if you wanted to hurt. I mean, make them want to police themselves rather than spending all this money to do something that they should be doing. It's a state's issue.
Hold on, Vortex. I was about to give you some props.
I didn't.
And you keep it up. Man, look, you could make some good points. Just stick to the facts. Stick to the facts. When you go to name calling and things like that, you don't gain anybody. So, but I think you were about to make a good point. So just go back to that.
You gotta tell the people what you're talking about.
I ain't giving. No, I'll give him or her the benefit of the doubt. They were just in a bad moment. But once you put your thinking cap on, Vortex, you can make some points. And I bet you most folks would a lot of people might agree with you. Stick to the points. All right. So to what you were saying, let's go with state control, for example. That does matter. So, that's why our founders made sure that states had militia. And we call it National Guard. Now, we actually do have militia, too. I think all the states do. State Guard, that's your militia. It's a little different now with National Guard and State Guards, but I won't get into the weeds on that. But our founders had it right for a reason, and they gave it. They gave that right to the states. Federalizing domestic forces, it can happen, and it should happen in some instances. But it should be rare, very rare. It should be very temporary. Not permanent. And also for clear emergencies, not on a whim, definitely not a standing policy that can be turned on at any moment, depending on any election, look, Republican or Democrat. That's a lot of power. You're talking about a standing army. Yeah, it's 2 units of 600, 300 each. Not a lot of soldiers at all. 600. But man, if you just think about it, that's not what our founders intended. I mean, it was hard enough to get a standing army, much less, definitely not even a thought, standing army to police, our citizens. So look, let's keep talking on that. I can't wait to hear the folks' thoughts when we open up the phone lines. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are we are broadcasting live from the Bill and Bear Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Bill and Bear, your hometown lawyers. Give those guys a call, man. We're gonna open up phone lines a little early. It's Wellness Wednesday, so we got Dr. Kevin from Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Love him. Love when he comes in. He's got some stuff for us too later in the show. Last segment, or actually his own little segment on show. So we're going to open up those phone lines. Who are we going to first? Let's see here.
This is let me get my trusty dusty paper here. I think it's I don't know. We'll just find out.
Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Matt. All right. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, brother. What you got?
Y'all are right. I mean, it's a slippery slope, and I do trust that Trump won't, use it for any nefarious reasons, and other people would. But also at the same time, it should be there just to also help the D.C. police beef up their game plan of attack for when the guard is pulled away.
So
y'all are right. It's different.
Good point. So two different
it's
things.
Different in other states.
Well, but look, just to clarify. So what we're talking about this, and you might not have caught it. So there's a report out now that President Trump and his administration want to make 2 National Guard units, like basically permanent. Well, they would be permanent units. 300 troops in Alabama, 300 troops in Arizona. And the intent would be that they can deploy as a quick reactionary force within an hour to any of these like big riots and things like that. DC, totally different. You got home rule.
I did catch that, but that's
okay.
That's really iffy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
that's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, it's. I think it's bad, and we shouldn't do it. And I hope that's my initial gut feeling. I don't think it'll be hard to get me off of that, only because Trump ain't gonna be the president forever.
Right. Look, and as a former vet, I took that oath to protect the country against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
If I was still serving and the president called me up, guess what? I got to go.
Yeah, I mean, lawful orders we follow. It's I got you. It's just when we give the federal government power, they never give it back.
Yeah, it goes bad.
You know what I mean?
Guys.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. All good points. Like you can't. That's what I'm saying. The efficacy of the meeting of the operation of the mission. You can't argue with that. Yeah, having a force, like take federal out, having a force that can react anywhere in the country within an hour to quash a civil unrest. Yeah, or not necessarily civil unrest, but like these out of control riots. Okay, yeah, you can argue that's a good thing, but how you do it matters. How you do it matters. And I love President Trump. I voted for him. I just disagree with this decision because of the long-lasting effects that it could have. I do not support a standing military army to police Americans. Policing's local issue. I don't even like I don't even like us having a national police force. Where is it in the Constitution? Nowhere. So if we don't want a national police force, we surely shouldn't want a standing army. I get it. It's only Guillory, it's only 600 troops. It's only 300 troops in Alabama, 300 troops in Arizona. It's still the federal government. I know it's Title 32 until they're not. They're Title 30. It's a bad look. It's a bad look at minimum, but it's a bad policy. Just listen, for all my fellow conservatives, what would President Biden have done during COVID with that kind of power? Probably things that we wouldn't have liked. So we got to be careful. All right?
Don't you need Congress to declare martial law if you ever do that?
I don't know the law. Initially, the president has a lot of powers. I'm not an expert on that part. I don't know.
I think so, but I don't know. It's interesting.
All right, let's see here. Renee, what you got, Renee?
Hey, long overdue. If Biden would have done that, he would have done it anyway, no matter how much caution you put in and win. If we have that type of people in charge of us again, they'll be on steroids. They're going to do what they want. They'll make it up anyway. This is long overdue. If we have one of these drug lords do something like Pancho Villa, the National Guard should be allowed to link up with federal troops and maybe go outside the border, too, if we have something like Pancho Villa with drug lords. Long overdue. You're overthinking it. The left would do worse anyway. When they're in charge, they're going to bend the laws like they want to do that anyway.
Well, you're making some points on that. I will I will give you that. That is true. Maybe he just didn't think of it. Well, and what are we talking about? He didn't have to do 2 units in Arizona, one in Arizona, one in Alabama. He basically federalized every local government that would take it. We didn't, but there's a lot of them that did. So actually, what he actually did this already. So to Renee's point, good point. Good point. I still stand with what I said. My position is still the same, but I do appreciate what you said, and I actually agree with it. You know, no, I don't agree with the first part. I agree with the last part. I agree with the last part that the Democrat leadership, not regular Democrats, but the leadership, yeah, they would have done that. They would have done that, and I think they already did. Mr. Bobby, what you got, Mr. Bobby?
Well, the Pentagon has a lot of lawyers, but here we go: Arizona land, Alabama, Gulf of America.
Okay.
Both borders. And we also have a lot. We also have a lot of domestic threats that are still inside this country that want to slit our throats.
Yep. Hey, look.
But 600. How many you had in your platoon?
I had 30, up to 39 at one point.
Oh yeah, 600. But they're all out of uniform because they'll be on commercial aircraft, right?
Yep. Low profile. Rotate every 90 days. I mean, it's a standing army.
Yeah. It's not like the U.S. It's not like a U.S. Marshal Service or Air Service.
Right. I mean, to me, if you're gonna do that, use one. I mean, I don't think we should have a national police force, but if you're gonna have one, shouldn't the national police force do that? But boy, they're more corrupt than anything.
As you know, a Second Amendment says a well-educated militia being necessary to the security of America is the right for people to bear arms.
Okay.
And not be infringed.
Great point. So under that theory, though, and just under that theory alone and other statutory requirements, each of the 50 states should have one of these QRFs, these quick reactionary force. The problem, the slippery slope here is when the federal government has that standing army to do not just state issues, local issues. You know, I get it. Once it becomes an unbearable riot, I get it. It becomes a state issue, but it's rarely a federal issue. And Jamie made the point: if the federal government wants to punish, just pull the money. That'll hurt them more than anything.
Yeah. Well, how many in the Louisiana National Guard? Like you said, let the states handle it. How many is in there?
I don't know. I'm gonna
Google it.
Use the Google. I bet you a couple thousand. I'm going.
Okay, well, with the state police, you got 1,000, and you got another 200 in the office that can be on the street.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. There you go. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of let those governors lead their states, and if they need a quick reactionary force, which I love QRFs, I love it. You're a military guy. Yeah. We love QRFs. They work. They work.
Approximately 11,000.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. But like I said, the Pentagon is loaded with lawyers.
Yeah, they got a lot of them. Put them on the front lines. Actually, don't put them on the front lines.
Well, you had your friend there, I think, was in Iraq with y'all, the lawyer. What's his name?
Lance Bill. Yep, Lance Bill over there, Bill Naber. Yeah. Great guy. Let me get my other callers, Mr. Bobby. All right, appreciate you. Let's see here who we going to. Jerry, what's up, Jerry? What you got, my man?
I kind of think that you have all these paid protesters that can be on the fly causing a lot of dismay. And let's just put it this way. Act like they're not paid protesters and they're just ignorant folks that we're seeing on all these YouTube videos and all these news stations around here, these mobs and things like that. There's people dying. I mean, the cops cannot handle it. I don't care what city you go to. If they came here to Lafayette and did that, the police force would be brutally mocked. And I have nothing against them. They just cannot handle that kind of... If they had a city block of people, there's nobody here could stop that. I mean, they need to have that.
Well, it's all valid points. Boy, I wish we had more time. Jerry, all good points. And I think that most people would agree with the ability to be able to strike fast. It's just, who do we want to do that? Do we want the federal government to do it? That's where we caution. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Joe, Ricky, you're up first. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the Beal and Bear Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live from Rumble, rumble.com. Go look at the Josh Guillory Show. Give us a little follow. You can look at old episodes too. You can share. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. And you can chat us for free. All right, what you got?
We got some chats. We got Jay in Lafayette says, it's all great till the next Democrat gets in and riles it all back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Billy from Church Point says, if the sound effects are still broken tomorrow, y'all might as well go to bingo with Martha Jean. Good show, guys. And
never a dull moment with Martha Jean and Martha Jean at bingo.
CJ
very
Youngsville.
Competitive. By the way, full contact bingo when she plays. It's very odd.
Has she ever invited you to strip bingo?
Oh my God.
Oh, Martha.
That was down in
so
Lafourche
nasty.
Parish, though.
Oh, I was. I think.
No, she said
Plaquemine.
she said she had crabs.
It was Plaquemine. She said she's gonna buy a little place there. She heard they got a bunch of money recently. Might be paying people to. CJ in Youngsville says, "I see you have a fan on Rumble." Oh, CJ,
yeah.
we get fans quite often, and that's fine. Everybody's got an opinion.
I like the opinions, sometimes, but we gotta keep it family friendly. At least a little.
I mean, if you have to be insulting when you argue with someone, then you've already lost. I mean, you just got to resort to name calling.
Hey, it's all good. All right, guys, so we're going to go back to the phone lines. We're talking about the idea that's been floated around that there will be two Army National Guard permanent bases, basically two posts, one in Alabama, one in Arizona, each having about 300 soldiers assigned to it, 90-day tours, and they rotate. The idea is it's a quick reactionary force that can deploy to any civil unrest situation, any riots within 1 hour anywhere in the country. All right, so I don't think anybody can reasonably argue with the efficacy, like I said, the value of that, the effectiveness of that type of mission. The problem or the question is the federal government, one, the best entity to do it, and two, if it is, are soldiers stationed here on our soil that are federalized to deploy to civil issues on a local area, at most state problem, state topic. That's really the question, and I would caution against that. So, but I'm open to any thoughts. Ricky, what you got, my man?